Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning. It's now the 30th day of January 2025, and this is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office. And it's another cool and clear morning, but here we are on Thursday, which is probably going to be our last completely dry day for a while. I did an update last night with the 0Z run coming in. Now I'm going to show you what the 12Z runs are showing. And somebody in the comment section last night was unclear about what I'm talking about. So when the NAM, the North American model, and the GFS, the global model, they come out every 6 hours. 0Z, which is 0Z midnight, Greenwich time, if you will, the universal time, and that's at 0Z is 4 p.m. our time. So the models come out our time, or they're initiated rather at 4 a.m., 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 10 p.m. By the time they come in, actually, is a few hours later, but they're initiated at those Z times. So what I'll be doing over the next couple of days, because we do have this active weather coming our way, I'll be doing 2 updates a day. One to show you the 12Z runs, and the next one to show you the 0Z runs in the evening. Both will be posted around 8:30. That's about the time we get enough information in from the NAM and the GFS to show you a lot of what's going on. All right, so let's get to it. And we'll start with the satellite. A couple interesting things this morning. Yes, we have clear skies over California now, but there are clouds just off the coast. But the other thing that I wanted to point out here this morning was that if you go back here in the Pacific, there's that line of clouds, a little bit of a break in here, and then you come down here, and we have this line that's impacting Hawaii this morning. And I've been seeing some reports online that they have high winds and maybe even some thunderstorms. This is relatively unstable weather, a cold front that's going through the islands, but also some very strong winds with this part of it. And all of this, if you angle this low with this moisture, as well as this low and this moisture, that's that classic Pineapple Express atmospheric river sort of pattern where you have a stream of moisture with embedded lows along it. So that's the setup that we see here on the satellite this morning. And so everything does look as though it's in place to give us some rain finally. However, there are some differences in the models this morning. I'll get to that in just a second. Let's start with the HRRR, because the HRRR, the high resolution model, this will give us an idea of when the rain is going to start. And this will just focus on what we're going to see on Friday and into Friday night. So we'll start with the short term here. Going through the day today, no issues. This is all the way into tonight. This is up around 8 o'clock this evening. So as you can see, everything's quiet. So if you have any outdoor plans for Thursday, travel plans through the Sierra, not an issue. So let's get into Friday. This is 4 a.m. I'll go up to 6 a.m. This is 6 a.m. 14Z. And yes, we have rain in Sacramento, as well as Roseville and Grass Valley, generally along I-80 and to the north. Nothing in the San Joaquin Valley just yet, as well as dry around Tahoe. We'll likely start to get chain controls first thing in the morning, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, with a snow level in the range of 6,500 feet. So not super low, but low enough that we'll likely see snow on the passes and chain controls up on 80, 50, and 88 perhaps eventually. This is around 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is interesting the way the HRRR shows it. It shows a little bit of a break or maybe some showery weather after the initial area comes through, not unusual, and then the rain turns steadier into the afternoon and evening. This has more of that classic atmospheric river setup. So you go north of Butte County, the rain is hit and miss. You go south of Merced, and the rain is non-existent. So you have this relatively narrow channel where you are getting the rain. And that's at 10 o'clock on Friday night. And then this model only goes out through 48 hours, but that takes us through early Saturday morning. And here's where we have the soaking rain, the snow level once again right around 6,000 to 6,500 feet. So just in that time period, let's see what this shows in terms of total precipitation accumulation. This shows the valley around Sacramento County in the half-inch range. Now, again, most of that is the Friday night, Saturday morning part. Very manageable amounts of rain. And on the west slope with the classic orographic lifting along Highway 49, we're talking about 2+ inches of rain through early Saturday morning. And as I mentioned, also, the snow level will be up around 6,500 feet, 6,000 feet. It'll vary quite a bit, but it'll stay above 4,000. So for those of you at 4,000 and below, this isn't going to be a case, I don't think throughout this period, that we will see snow below 4,000 feet. We may not even see snow below 5,000 feet. So for those of you worried about some of the lower elevations, that certainly is not going to be the case. But we will be seeing enough snow for chain controls. Let me show you what this model shows in terms of total snow accumulation. And again, this is through Saturday morning. This might be a little on the high side. This is showing 10 to 20 inches of snow. I think that's too high, just because it's going to be a little bit wet. I don't think the ratios are going to be that great with this, although some of the highest elevations above 8,000 feet may see some really good snow. I don't think this is indicative of what we'll see on the pass around 6,500 to 7,000 feet. All right, so that's the HRRR. All right, let's go out to the NAM because this takes us farther out in time, and here's where we start to see some model differences. And I don't know if the NAM is right this morning or not, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second here. All right, this is 7 o'clock on Friday morning. This is a little bit slower than the HRRR, but a similar idea that we'd have some showers in the morning. This is Friday afternoon at 4 p.m., solid rain, snow. Once again, this model also showing snow up around 6,500. And then this is Friday night. Saturday morning at 7 a.m., we wake up to rain, we wake up to snow in the Sierra and chain controls, again, just right up over the pass. So this model is also not showing any snow below 5,000 feet. And then this is where we start to see the difference. This model brings that wave through so that by Saturday afternoon, the valley is dry. And then we get a break on Saturday night and into Sunday. This is all day Sunday. That's Sunday at 7 a.m., that's Sunday at 4 p.m. So the NAM gives us a break on Sunday, leaving Sunday completely dry. And let's take a look at precip totals here. So as of this would include all that rain on Saturday. This for the valley has, for Sacramento County, has about 1.5 inches of rain to 2 inches of rain, quite a bit less down toward Modesto. But look at where the bullseye is right here. So this is the Feather River Basin, and certainly the American River Basin. Look at that, plus 4 inches of water. That looks good. That looks really good, beneficial. And I think it's going to be quite manageable because it has been so dry lately. But my concern here this morning on this run is that break that we're looking at here on Sunday. All right, so now let's go out to the GFS. The GFS goes out farther in time. And so let's see what this model says. That's Friday morning. It kind of looks similar. Some showers Friday morning, snow level, same, 6,000, 6,500, something like that. That's 4 p.m. on Friday. And now this model brings in some really good rain on Saturday, maybe angled a little bit farther to the north than the earlier runs, the other runs I showed you. And then remember the NAM showed everything drying on Sunday. Well, this is 4 p.m. on Saturday. It does look as though there's a bit of a weakening here, but this model continues the rain into Sunday. That's Sunday morning at 7 a.m. And it continues rain all through the day in areas from Butte County down through San Joaquin County with a snow level up around 7,000 feet. The other interesting thing, now this is as of 4 p.m. on Sunday, and that's as far out as the NAM goes. So the rest of it, we can't do a model-to-model comparison because this is the GFS goes farther out in time. But it's interesting that this model then brings in another little wave. This is Monday morning. This is Monday afternoon. And let's see this little low here. This could be the low or new low developing along the line, bringing us some really good rain and lower snow levels on Tuesday. And by lower snow levels, I mean down to maybe 5,000 feet on Tuesday, if this is true. And then it washes everything out as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, which is also a big change from what we were looking at earlier when the models were indicating something bigger coming through Wednesday, Thursday. And now the models are saying Wednesday, Thursday is dry. Not unusual to see this sort of discrepancy with an AR sort of event. You have the winds aloft that are going very, very fast, And little perturbations along the line can bring big changes. So with that, let me show you what the GFS is showing in terms of the precipitable water here. We are dry, obviously, in California, and here's that surge of moisture. So we have a low here, and then here's that low north of Hawaii that I showed you on the satellite. And then you can just see that low wrap up here, aiming the moisture our way on Friday. This is into Saturday, so that's how we get that really good rain on Saturday. And here's that low spinning up here. So it does look as though there's a bit of a breakdown right here on Sunday of some of the moisture, and then that low itself would bring in the better rain and better dynamics on Monday, Tuesday, if that's right. And that's a big if. There was one other thing I was going to show you, but I didn't queue it up. So give me a second here, and I will queue this up for you. I should have done this before. As I mentioned last week, I'm probably the only person on YouTube that doesn't edit. I just do this and let it fly. Okay, so let's see here. Perfect. Okay, so somebody I saw yesterday posted something about this is going to bring flooding. Whew, boy, I hate it when people do that sort of thing because flooding is such a loaded word around here. So for that, let's go to the California-Nevada River Forecast Center. And so what I'm looking at here are all of these green and yellow dots. These are river gauges and river forecast spots. And where they're yellow, that means that they're going to go to what's called monitor stage. Let's look at the Cosumnes River. And so you can click on that and you'll get a plot of their deterministic forecast. And here we are right now. This blue line is what's happening. This black line goes from now forward. So anything on the right side of this line is the forecast. And as you can see, yes, we have a rather rapid rise as we get the rain, going up to 7.25 feet by 4 p.m. on Sunday, and then leveling off in that same range. And this line right here is monitor stage. So if I scroll up here, you'll see monitor stage is 7 feet, minor flood is 12 feet, moderate flood is 16 feet. So we're nowhere near that. And if I go back, what you'll look at here along the along the Sacramento River, all of these yellow dots up here mean that that's the Tisdale Weir, that's the Calusa Bridge, that's another weir here, and then this is the Ord Ferry. So yeah, all of these along the Sacramento River they're forecasting a rise, but there isn't any flooding. Now, if there is going to be quote unquote flooding, and if you're seeing anything that says there's going to be flooding with this, I'd be thinking, maybe some street flooding, but streams, creeks, rivers, they're fine. It's all been so dry lately, it'll be 4 weeks tomorrow since we've had any rain around Sacramento, and that was only that 0.30 inches. So I don't think flooding is an issue. So especially, I really want to speak especially to those of you that can be impacted by the Cosumnes. For those of you in Wilton, I know when you hear that, it's a trigger. At this point, I wouldn't be worried about that because, again, the preceding conditions have been so dry. So that's everything I have for you this morning. Again, it's going to be interesting to see the differences between the GFS and the NAM on Sunday. And right now the NAM is going dry on Sunday, which is a difference from what it was saying earlier. So we'll see how that plays out. But rain starts tomorrow, moderate rain. And right now Saturday looks like a pretty wet day. But if the NAM is right, then the Sunday may be kind of an in-between day with maybe just some scattered showers. And if you're trying to pick one day this weekend to do something outdoors, Sunday might be the day if the NAM is right. So I'll show you the 0Z runs. And again, I'll post that sometime between 8:30 and 9 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.